Hello everybody, welcome to episode number 241 of Some Shit We Like. I'm Bryce, here's Rick, and this is Bryant, who's been on the show. And to my recollection, I don't think I've ever been on the show at the same time as Bryant. Actually, except I never have.
The first one.
No, well, what first one?
The first one was with all you guys.
You weren't on the show.
I was on at my house, and you all was
on Skype.
On Skype.
Yeah.
Way back.
What do you mean first one?
Well, that was the first episode I was on. Yes.
And it was all over Skype?
Yeah.
It was over Skype.
The only time I think I've ever been on with you, otherwise, but I don't think we call it an episode, was when we reviewed Force Awakens. Didn't you and Francis come over, or was that just Francis?
It was just Francis.
Okay, so yeah, this is my first time on with Bryant, at least in person, because usually he's filling in for me. Hi, Bryant.
Hi, Bryce.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show, Brian. Again.
You did that last week too.
What?
Double welcome.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm very welcoming that way.
So as you can see, it's us three. Mike isn't here. We have a slight audience with a lady and two dogs. So if you hear noises in the background, that's...
And heavy breathing.
That's the lady.
That's what it is. Yeah. So anyways, what's up? How you guys doing this week? How's everybody feeling?
Tired.
Tired. Rick?
I am feeling so damn energetic right now.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, fucking, that's great. So be energetic on the show for us, Rick.
I'm just so nervous right now because like the cable for the laptop is like right here, so I'm just afraid that I'm gonna forget
And
and
you
then
have a full drink right next to a cable.
Why don't we just unplug it?
You gotta plug it and we'll plug it
I
back
can
in.
I can see the battery
Okay.
logo, so it's fine.
There we go.
I don't have to worry about it. Oh, phone call. I can't do it now.
So yeah, we're back as per usual to bring you some more news and stuff.
It's mostly a show put together by Rick. Well, except one thing by me. Not that matters, but I just
Let's talk about that first.
didn't really have a lot of time to look stuff up this week. So
You want to talk about that first?
I don't care.
Let's do it. Let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so about mid-August, I actually found this out last week after we recorded, Rick. I saw something. I think I went onto YouTube and it was like trending. And it said, watch the first full episode of the new Ducktales. And I was like, oh, wow. You know, like, I kind of want to check that out, even though what little I had seen, I wasn't really that interested, I guess. Just because, I don't know. I guess
You
just
don't
me.
like your childhood being pandered to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just a little bit of just, like, I just didn't like what I had seen. But I was still curious. I wanted to give it a shot. So I watched it, but kind of half paid attention to it, and then this week we're off to a little bit of a late start because, like I said, we have a slight audience, and then I told these guys late, I'm like, you know what we should do is we should all watch the first episode and give our thoughts on it, because
Did you say it was DuckTales?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Yeah, I said DuckTales.
Yeah, I said DuckTales.
Yeah. So anyways, the three of us were all pretty big fans of DuckTales, and I figure it's something we'd all have a lot to say. So yeah, Disney put this whole first episode online for free for everybody. I also read too that apparently the day that they did it, I think it was August 6th. It doesn't matter what day it was, but the whole day apparently they just played. Like, it took over the channel that it's going to be on, which I think it's on. What is the Disney channel? Like Disney
XD.
Channel XD. As I just showed on the screen, and I asked you guys. I believe they literally played it for 24 hours.
No, over and over again?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it took over entirely. I'll verify that, but yeah, so I was late to the party and seeing it. So we all just watched it again, fresh, and want to give our take on it. So let's start with the guest over here. Bryant, what did you think of what you saw of the new DuckTales compared to the DuckTales that we grew up with?
It's, I don't know, kind of like how you stand. I don't like my childhood being pandered to, so I'm biased watching it from the get-go. It was entertaining. Do I see myself watching it regularly? I'll watch it if it's on, but it kept my attention for a while. I don't know if you want to go into like what we did or didn't like.
No, that's what it's for. Go into all of it.
Details. Animation style is, I like the old school stuff, like the original animation from Ducktales, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, Chip and Dale's, like that style of animation, versus like this one's a little more like sharp. It almost looks like a computer game or video game to me, as opposed to just regular cartoon style. But that's just, like I said, that's just me being like having such fond memories of the original. The voice acting is whatever. 'Cause the kids are Huey, Dewey, and Louie are kind of just like Bryce was saying, typical over the top Disney voice, just like always yelling, screaming, and overexcited. Scrooge was okay, like your standard, stereotypical Scottish accent. Donald was entertaining. You can kind of understand him at times, and sometimes you can't. And then I didn't like how, I don't know, they kind of twisted some characters. Not twisted, but they get a different spin on some characters to me. Launchpad didn't have as much depth, I think. He was just kind of like, oh, this is the buffoon of the group and stuff.
Yeah.
When Launchpad in the original, he's very like lovable in a sense.
Well, first episode.
It's first episode, yeah.
So you gotta get that.
Yeah, it's hard to give it the baseline, but it just, to me, from that first episode, it seems they dumbed down Launchpad a lot. Like he's just some nincompoop in the background. Mrs. Beasley or Bees?
I believe it's
Beasley.
It's Beasley. I'm pretty sure it's Beasley.
They made her, like, she was like the lovable grandma type on the original, and in this, it just made her like burly, strict housekeeper.
She seemed like a bitch. I mean, let's just be honest with it.
Yeah.
That really kind of threw me off too.
Yeah.
I mean, not to interject.
And then Webigail, to me, I always thought, like, growing up watching a show, like, Webigail, like, the adorable little sister character type, and they just made her, like, over energetic tween in this movie. Like, kind of all over the place and everything. So, I get it. They have to do some things different. But, like I said, I'm very biased because grew up.
We're all biased.
Just love the original. Bought it on DVD when it came out, all that stuff. So I was telling Bryce and Rick, like, I can't give it a fair shake. I'm curious to see if you showed, like, say, a 5-year-old, have them watch the original and have them watch this and see which one they would gravitate towards more. I'm just curious to see what the result would be with that.
I'd be curious too, but I feel like we'd already know the answer because, I mean, here's the problem with this. Let's just go down the line, I guess. This to me, it just feels like, not that I've seen that many, but what I have seen feels like every other cartoon that is on modern day Disney now anyways. Like, it sort of seems like it has the same look, and then especially, like, the voices and stuff. I feel like a lot of the modern day stuff just feels really, like, I use this word a lot in the show, but it feels sterile, I guess. Like, it just doesn't seem like it has a lot of personality. And that's just kind of bothersome to me. Like, it doesn't have some of the same charm. Also, just to from earlier, yes, they did, when they premiered this, 24 consecutive hours, they presented the episode starting on Saturday, August 12th on Disney XD. They played the episode.
They're really pushing for it.
Yeah. The series is going to then debut 2 new episodes on Saturday, September 23rd. Yeah, it looks like, I wonder if this is going to kind of be like a Saturday morning thing, because it looks like it starts at 7 a.m. and it's going to play throughout the day. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know, the animation, like, I think that's what it is. Like, it doesn't stand out. It honestly looks like it could just be any other Disney cartoon. And this just has, like, a DuckTales skin over it. You know what I mean? The more I look at it, I mean, we're looking at it now. Obviously, it's playing in the background. Speaking of which, audience member, how bad is my head blocking the TV, or is it not? Okay. So, I mean, like, Scrooge looks pretty good. Like, I started thinking, because this is actually the second time I watched it. When I watched it with you guys today, I just paid attention to it more. I'm wondering if my issue is more with, like, the models of some of the characters. Like, I just don't like the character models of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Like, their heads are, like...
The style of it?
Their,
boxy.
Their heads are, like, square. But, like, Donald looks okay. Cool. Scrooge looks okay.
Fine too.
But, like, even the colors. Like, doesn't the colors, like, kind of look a little bland? They're not bright. They don't pop.
It looks like an old-fashioned cartoon.
Which is funny because DuckTales is an older cartoon, but it looks better. But I think the original looks better. It has so much more character.
Bright. That's what it is.
Yeah, the colors are very muted. Thank you.
I need a teleprompter.
Yeah, so the colors are totally, like, they're just kind of muted and stuff. And then, yeah, like, Scrooge, I think I could get used to. It's still not the same Uncle Scrooge. You're not going to replace that voice. That voice is iconic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
You will not replace it. And I realize a lot of people like David Tennant and all this other stuff, and I'm sure,
I didn't even know it was David Tennant until you mentioned it.
It is. Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people love him. He's still not touching the original voice, though.
Oh, not even close.
At all.
But I could say it's a nice take.
Yeah, it's a good take. But yeah, I think I'll even say Launchpad. Like his voice, it's different, but I feel like I could get used to it.
I could get used to him.
It seems like it's the kids that is where it's fucked up.
I totally agree.
Yeah, the kids is where it's really messed up, and they don't even act the same. Like all these kids seem like they could, like I said already, be from any other Disney cartoon, and that's been the problem I think with modern day cartoons. And I really don't think this is just an issue of it's not our era. Yeah, so being assisted here, teleprompter. The kids do seem more annoying rather than cute. They seem obnoxious, right? Well, that's how it is. They're totally obnoxious, all of them.
It's the typical overactive kids that you can't get control of.
It's too modern, in my opinion.
But really,
that's really what it's supposed to be.
For God's sakes, the first scene you have Donald checking his cell phone and unplugging it from a charger. It's kind of weird to see something like that. You want to punch them in the beak.
You kind of do. Yeah. But honestly, there's a right way to do modern and a wrong way to do modern. And I think the right way to do modern is, let's see, Rocko's Modern Life. That movie that's going to be coming out. That show has all the same vibe. And I realized they weren't going to get all the same voice actors. And I understand that with this. That's fine. In fact, if I remember right.
I like that shot right there.
Right here?
Yeah, where he walks up to the suit and forms to him.
In fact, I believe the voice of Scrooge is actually passed away, so that would have been impossible. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But yeah, we've all kind of seen some modern day Disney cartoons, right? So you guys see how the voices of the kids especially just sound like it could be from any cartoon. Do you guys get that?
It's very
I totally get that. The comedy of this too is very quick modern type of comedy, when the older versions of it were more I don't know, the comedy was just there. I don't know how to explain
it's
it.
Very
it's
AED. That's the thing.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the right word.
They definitely captured the spirit of adventure, I'd say, which is what Ducktales was about. But it's just it's a little too fast paced. The dialogue's too fast paced, and I feel so it's funny. I remember until we watched, because after this we all kind of had to cleanse our palate a little bit. I'm like, let me throw on some of the old stuff. Right?
Yeah.
And so.
Well, I just want to get into my thing too before you.
Oh yeah, Rick didn't go yet.
Well, I'm not. I'm still going. I'm not done.
I thought you were about to.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not switching gears. No, not at all. Started. We did that to clean the palate a little bit. You guys totally threw me off. But I was gonna say while watching this, I was like, what the fuck? The kids all sound the same. But the kids sounded the same. I'm glad we watched that because the kids all sound the same. The boys, at least, all sound the same in the original too. But there's still something about them where it just feels different. That voice has more character to it, even though the boys do all sound the same. So it's just it's just all wrong, I guess. But yeah, we'll throw. It's all
wrong.
It's all wrong. But I'll throw it to Rick too to give his take. But before I do that, also I want to ask, just because Rick is probably of the three of us is more of the comic guy. I didn't know how much. I mean, did you know much about the lore of DuckTales, the comics and stuff? I've learned.
I knew they were there, but I didn't read them.
I've learned recently because those came first, and even the TV show that we grew up off of doesn't follow the comics totally. There is some stuff too about this that's also, the game, the Nintendo game, and then also the comics and other stuff. Scrooge wears the color he's wearing here, that red color. But our cartoon is wearing the blue
blazer,
the blue thing,
red trim, and buttons on it. I think.
So with that said, that's my. Go ahead, Rick.
Now, Dave kind of already said, we love it as kids, and I didn't want to hate this. I don't want to not like it. I'm trying to be more positive about when people make remakes. All right, I'm not gonna get angry. I'm gonna wait to see the final product. I kind of want to be positive about this. Even while watching it, if there's something I don't like, I still want to try to be positive about it. And watching it, it's I can't.
It's hard to find
something to latch on to, other than like Launchpad. I think I'll end up liking him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Huey, Louie, and Dewey are not annoying. Yes, definitely want to punch them.
Webby
If you were
too,
a kid.
honestly.
I hate what they do, Webby.
I mean, yeah, like that's just not even the same. She was this sweet, kind of innocent
But
girl.
at the same time, I can understand why it's different because things have changed.
I know what you're trying to do. I see
They're
what you're
reaching
trying to do with Webby Bell. Yeah.
new evolved form of comedy for these new, quick reaction, want something right now, kids.
Yeah.
So I can understand it. I can understand why we're not, grabbing onto this as far as wanting to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if the animation, it's nice, but I don't think it works for this cartoon at all.
The older
even if it wasn't like the old, let's say they're not even going with the older one, they just want to go with the new type of animation. This is not it, in my opinion. I mean, at least for me, it's not it.
No, but
maybe if the animation was a little bit different.
The older animation's way nicer, though, right? I think we can agree.
Yeah,
I think, even though obviously this is more modern and fresh, but it just.
But I'm just saying, I don't want to dismiss this animation as far as I completely hate it, that they should have gone with the old one. I'm just trying to say they could have found a happy medium. Because it feels like complete opposite of what they.
It doesn't stand out to me.
Other than the story of going on adventures and things like that.
This animation style is very sharp.
And it's too sharp.
It's very sharp, and that's why I'm curious to see the original to me has so much charm to it, and I watched this episode.
Too much shadow.
And it doesn't stand out.
Well, it doesn't stand out. There's not a lot of charm to it, and then I didn't find anything memorable. I'll watch. Maybe that's just me being biased as a kid and stuff, but I can remember so many episodes of Ducktales where oh, this is the one where this happens, or blah blah blah, or they introduce that person. But this is just very it's okay, you're introducing the brand, so I don't know. Maybe they didn't give a great first impression for me.
What's her name from Tailspin?
I thought that was supposed to be the girl from the Goofy movie.
I don't think it's supposed to be anybody from anybody.
I
just remember
Beagle characters.
Well, that's kind of what they what they
Beagles
look like
and
and
ducks.
stuff.
Yeah.
I lost my thought. It's not okay. So here's the thing. Like Rick said, I don't want to hate on something just because it's a remake, or it's being redone or reintroduced. I guess I wish it was being more reintroduced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be an exact carbon copy, but why couldn't they? Oh,
Mike is watching.
Mike is here and watching. That shit does. Yes, Mike. That shit does look like poop. But why couldn't they have really tried to make it look like the original, but just have it be new episodes? You know what I mean? How come whenever they bring this stuff back, it always has to be reinventing the wheel?
You don't need to. Yeah. I mean, look at
don't reinvent the wheel. Rocco's Mother Rocco's. Yeah,
life and
it's
they
the same.
Just adapted to the new technology to modern.
Yeah,
it's probably
with the same animation.
It's honestly just probably some higher ups decision.
That has to be.
It has to be because if you
they want to appeal to the younger generation.
They want to appeal to the younger generation.
That's understandable.
And we were saying, the show's very ADD. Every once in a while, you're saying how Launchpad is kind of. He had his moments. He's the only one. He made us chuckle a few times, but that was it.
I would probably watch because of him, not because of them. But David Tennant, apparently now that I know that it's him, even before I knew it was him, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't. I thought it was gonna be a lot horrible, but it wasn't bad at all. It feels it does. I feel like a really bad ripoff. I mean, I like the voice for him. I could actually say I do like the voice for Scrooge.
But it's
I'm not saying it's gonna be replaced.
It never will.
Yeah, of course not. But I mean, at the same time, I still actually like it.
Yeah. Like I said, the issue to me seems to be more with the kids.
Yeah.
All the more adult characters, except for Mrs. Beasley, I think I'm okay with. Even there's something, even though we're knocking the animation and stuff, there's something about just looking at this that
it's not bad.
It makes me happy because I'm especially Scrooge, because Scrooge looks like Scrooge.
Yeah.
These blocky ass fucking kids though, I'm just what the hell is that? And yes, Alan Young, who did the voice of Scrooge originally, did pass away, so I didn't want to say somebody died and they weren't dead. So.
The guy who also did the voice of the Head, too?
Yeah.
Or was it the guy?
No, you know what? I think he I believe he did.
I'm pretty sure he did. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think I remember Hollywood Babylon talking
I
about it.
remember that too.
But yeah, like I actually liked Scrooge in my opinion. I mean, that's kind of another thing I liked about it. Scrooge was fine. I mean, yeah, no one's ever gonna match the original,
No.
and you just have to face that fact.
Mhm.
But I like what they did. Like the animation is not bad. It's just not right for this cartoon, in my opinion.
And then yeah, I think it is true. The colors are just so muted. You know, like it's weird looking at
Yeah,
the
especially
older cartoons.
Scrooge's coat.
It's weird looking at the older cartoon, and it looks brighter, and even in a lot of ways fresher than this modern cartoon. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll watch more.
That's a good point. Very Tricks cereal.
What's the next?
color.
What's our next to it?
Pranks,
Tricks and
Prongs.
pranks.
tricks and pranks.
I know the cereal called
Prongs.
pranks.
Prongs. It's the fancy prongs.
It's the
What are you?
That's
the European version.
That's the French version of
What is
tricks.
hold on?
Prongs.
What is producer trying to say? That the colors are like tricks?
It's like a bad knockoff.
Ah, gotcha.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't give you the
No.
the magic of the original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it feels. It does, but see, like,
So, like,
the adult characters
you
look
got
fine.
the Tricks here, and then you got the generic
And you got prongs.
house brand.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I might give a few more episodes a try,
Me too.
just because it's Ducktales.
And this was the Game of Thrones knockoff right here.
Just because it's Ducktales, and I'd be curious, but like, it's just hard to get past the voices.
I do like some of the small little Easter eggs.
Oh, that was cool. When they had the construction robots. Did you see
Yeah.
that? What was another
Yeah.
Easter egg? I'm trying to think.
When Donald Duck was trying to cover the holes, that was from a classic,
yeah, classic.
Donald Duck cartoon. I watched a lot of Donald Duck. What else was there? Yeah. But yeah, it had its moments, but I'm really happy with the 3 kids. It's unfortunate.
The 4 kids, all
4
of them.
kids,
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's fine. I was curious. Like I said, maybe I'll check out a few more episodes just to see, because it's a familiar property, so it's kind of nice to watch, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
Let's see, what else did Mike say? The most recent Mickey animated shorts look terrible too, but the cartoons themselves are really funny. It's totally missing the hand in it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. It doesn't have the hand animated charm. Like it's. I don't
It's
know.
unfortunate, but
Yeah. So
Yeah, we got Rocco's.
yeah,
We got
Rocco's
Rocco's.
looks
Yeah.
phenomenal. So I'm excited for that. I wish they could have done something similar with this. Obviously, you know,
yeah.
they'd still have to use different voices, but it's just so weird how harsh of a change they went with the kids' voices. You know what I mean? Like, because the kids in the original kind of sort of have that Donald
They
touch
sound
to
like-
their
they
voice,
sound
but
like
they're more
kids.
clear.
Mm.
No, but you know how there's like, you know,
The
it's almost
raspy-
kind of, there's a little bit of a rasp to it.
Yeah.
I mean, even Scrooge, like the kids seem like they're obviously related to fucking their uncles, you know?
They're fucking their uncles.
I said related to. Come on, let's grow up. So, anyways, I think that's all we have to say about DuckTales. Maybe we'll revisit it later. I think it premieres in September. I know it premieres in September because I said it earlier. But yeah. Anyways, DuckTales.
Woo.
DuckTales. Woo. Maybe?
Woo?
Question mark? Yeah, we're just not sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Next story. Obi-Wan movie, working title reportedly revealed. What could it mean? Well, first off, there's going to be apparently Obi-Wan Kenobi movie in the works. Star Wars. We're talking Star Wars here. And if... and it seems...
That's the dog.
I'm excited about this for sure because it seems like if it does happen, it's probably going to most likely going to happen between now Rogue One and
Don't worry about it, Rick.
The timeline of it.
yeah, the timeline is probably going to be between like Rogue One
Between Rogue One and Episode 4.
no wait yeah or no episode 3 and Rogue One perhaps. Anywhere between that timeline.
So after killing Vader, up to Rogue One,
Killing Vader.
because it goes Rogue One, 4, 5, 6.
Oh no, I meant before that. Sorry, before Rogue One.
Before Rogue
It
One.
could be either before
So
Rogue One.
post 3 then.
Yes.
Okay, so 3.5.
Or it could be somewhere in between. Who knows? Maybe it's happening at the same time as Rogue One.
But it's
is happening.
after
It has
after wasting Anakin and
Yeah.
And this is pure speculation.
There's
The
pure
article
speculation as
doesn't
far as
hint
that.
one
The
way or
only
the
thing
other.
we know of is apparently there's a working title, and the rumored title is, where is it? Okay, according to it, the working title for the Obi-Wan film is Joshua Tree. Oh, this is just a code name for the.
That's a code
For
name
the-
for it.
yeah.
I thought it said Omega Underground was the name of it.
Oh no, that's
According, that's a
Omega
source
Underground,
right there.
Weird.
I think that's just a code for the movie, like
A code name for the project.
for the project. There you go. Like
Okay.
Cloverfield was cheese.
Oh.
That was their code name.
That was their chief. That was their code name.
Yeah.
Well,
So the article goes on to say too, trying to speculate what that title might mean. I guess they go on to talk about the arid landscape of Joshua Tree National Park. Seems like Lucasfilm may be nodding to the desert terrain of Tatooine.
Tatooine. Yeah.
Yeah. And if that's the most likely that's the case is then
Well, it's where Obi-Wan's hiding out after
They're
all the
gonna-
Jedi are killed.
yes,
and
it's
Tatooine.
gonna probably maybe be like a few years after that, and he's in his hiding spot and maybe he gets called out for something,
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what Disney has to do now. Just kind of fill in the gaps because can't really progress in the storyline as much anymore because all those are spoken for. So that's why we're getting the Han Solo movie. Now we're getting the Obi-Wan movie, and then Rogue One was essentially
yeah, that's what it said.
3.5 going into episode 4,
Yeah.
right? So
Which isn't bad. Like I want to see this movie. Like I want to see an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
So does Mike.
And the thing is, they gotta treat it kind of like Rogue One, and not like
1, 2, 3.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Well, that one everyone will say 1, 2, 3 for sure. More mature, I guess. Because it.
I was gonna say because Rogue One is a straight up war movie.
Yeah.
It takes place in space.
Yeah, and that's something I kind of want to see. Well, a lot of people want to see, but I think it totally worked. Ewan McGregor is the perfect age for it right now, as everyone's saying.
Okay.
He can totally come back and reprise the role. He's one of the
That's what I
best
want.
parts of the, old.
But that's not official.
Not official, but he's mentioned in interviews that he wouldn't mind coming back or reprising the
Of
role.
course, who wouldn't mind right now?
Yeah, of course he wouldn't.
It's like printing money. And
Yeah.
They're going in a direction where,
So
yeah, Force Awakens, Rogue One. I think it fits because obviously the demographic that is in love with the franchise is older
yeah.
now, so we want to see a more mature.
Especially with the original 3. Like
Exactly,
People, the
yeah.
pro people for the original.
Yeah.
Or whoa. Let me back up. I said original 3. I mean the prequels.
The
My
prequels.
mistake.
Yeah, you might get.
I don't want to get cut for
Yeah,
that.
you don't want.
The prequels, the people that were pro the prequels will probably love this.
Mhm.
I missed Mike's earlier comment, by the way. He said, I just thought he said I'm in, but he also said Joshua Tree, sweet, hippie, drugged out Star Wars, I'm in.
Perhaps, yeah, perhaps. So yeah, I'm excited about this, but at the same time, like I kind of want to know your opinion, because like Star Wars, you've watched Star Wars, especially with the current situation as they keep making these spin-offs now, or starting to make these spin-offs.
Mhm.
I mean, what's your take on it? You think that might be a little bit too much? You think?
It just depends how much time you give it, because as long as the content is quality and it's giving the fans what they want in terms of like, well, it's a good balance. It's kind of like how comic book movies are. You have to appeal to the mainstream, and you have to appeal to the diehard. So there's something you have to hit the middle spot, so everyone can walk away happy to some degree.
I think with people, the older generation and the newer generation, which is how I'm just going to announce it with the actual originals and the prequels. I think this movie would be a really good happy medium where anyone can come in and actually know what's going on if they've seen either of those movies.
Yeah. And I feel,
or both.
And then the Han Solo movie's gonna do the same thing. I feel as well. It's kind of like, okay, it's just based on this character in this universe. that people are familiar with, whether you're a diehard fan or you came onto it later and saw the Force Awakens, and then you rewatched all the originals and all that stuff too. But
Right.
like I said, since Disney's behind it, I don't think they're gonna mess up, quote unquote, like the prequels.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogue One was good. I know a lot of people. Actually, there was a few people out there that didn't like it for some reason.
You didn't like Rogue One?
No.
You didn't like it?
What?
We already know
talked
that.
about
We're
this?
watching.
we
We're
talked
watching
about
it
this.
again.
I thought it was boring.
What? I don't know. Part of
I'm
me-
new to Star Wars.
Okay, it's new to you. But then everyone hates me for like saying I thought Rogue One is as controversial as it says. I liked it better than Empire, to me, because people hold such a high regard for Empire, because at the time it might be nostalgia or whatever. That was like during you associate certain things with certain times in your life. So at the time when Empire came out, it's the second one. Like Star Wars was starting to gain steam and all that. But if I look at it from what I enjoyed more, I would say I enjoyed Rogue One more than Empire Strikes Back or anything else like that. So that's controversial, but I've had some people say the same as well, and some people disagree with me. So everyone's got opinions.
Which one of you guys said for it to hit the middle spot? One of you guys said that.
That was me.
Oh, Brian said, or Mike said that's what she said.
Oh,
Hit the middle spot.
Empire is the best. Brian is right.
That's okay for Mike.
Yeah. He has watched Twin Peaks.
Oh, I was gonna get to that later.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it, but I've been watching Twin Peaks, but it's been a while. But I'm gonna continue on with it.
So your opinion on this?
Well, is there something set between 8 and 9 already penciled in?
No.
Yeah.
Because like
As far as
Rogue One was
Well,
the thing between
I think
7
that might
and
be
8.
the Han Solo movie then.
Okay. So I mean, do you figure this could be between 9 and whatever?
You
comes
mean the
after?
release date? You're talking about the release date?
I'm just saying. So
Storyline.
I don't have no, not storyline wise. I'm talking about like so far. So Force Awakens happened, and then we had Rogue One, and now this year we're gonna have Episode 8.
Yes.
So after Episode 8, is there something coming out in 2018?
It's probably the Han Solo one. After
Okay.
That could be it, yeah.
So this that we're talking about could come after 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have much of an opinion other than obviously it's not as bad as the Marvel stuff where there's just so many Marvel movies that come out every
In the same
year.
year. Yeah.
But do
Get
you
3
do you,
of
do you
each year.
do you feel like they need to let Star Wars breathe a little bit instead of always giving us something sandwiched in the
One
middle
per
of the
year.
big releases? I think that's my fear with it. Like I don't think it's happened yet, and I guess if they have good stories to tell, that's fine. But I think it kills off some of the anticipation of like, holy shit, Episode 8 is coming out this year, or holy shit, Episode 9 is coming out this year. But you also saw something very Star Wars themed even in its off year too. Like I almost wonder if it's better to have that 2-year
If
break.
they're smart,
basically.
they should wait 2 years. But since it's just printing money, they're just gonna
They're
roll,
just gonna
they're
do
gonna roll
it,
with
yeah.
it till the wheels fall off.
I mean, how do you guys feel about that though?
I mean, as long as they're done right, like I thought Rogue One was done right in my opinion. And as far as like between Han Solo and Obi-Wan, I'm probably more interested in Obi-Wan than I am in the Han Solo movie,
I'm
which could be
opposite- I'm opposite from you.
controversial,
Yeah.
really. Just because fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you already know how he got to where he's at, so it's kind of interesting to see what he went through during the period time of meeting up with Luke.
Mike agrees with what I'm saying that they should let it breathe, and is fearful that they're gonna totally like Call of Duty or Marvel the franchise just too much.
Yeah.
But you kind of get what I'm saying. Like obviously, you're not gonna match it, but people were so hyped for Episode 7 to come out because it's the first new Star Wars in a long time.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna feel that same sort of anticipation. But do you think maybe you'd be, not saying you aren't excited, but do you think you'd be a little more excited for Episode 8 this year if you didn't have Rogue One last year? Like if you kind of had like, shit, the last time I visited that world, was in 2000, what was that, 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Was that 2015?
What? Force
16.
Awakens?
16. It was 16. Was it 16?
What? Force Awakens?
Yes.
That was 15.
15. Okay. End of
16 was Rogue
2015.
One.
16 was Rogue One.
So I mean, don't
And this
like
year's the next movie.
I just feel like it's starting to feel like I know this is the main one, but it's like, oh, we're getting that new Star Wars joint this year, and again in the next year there'll be something else. So,
I mean, I feel like they could eventually get to that Marvel point, but right now I think it's all right because like Marvel, they got like 3 movies coming out each year, maybe 4.
right, and this is one, but I just feel like there's so much.
That's why
hype.
I'm okay with so
There's-
far what they're doing.
There's so much hype around Star Wars. I feel like it'd almost be better if maybe they should just stick to the main ones for a little bit or
Well,
something.
I think they are. I mean, for the most part.
But they aren't because, like I said, we had 7, then Rogue One, then
And
we're
we
gonna
have all
have
these
8,
transitions.
and then we're gonna have something
Yeah,
else in
but-
between 8 and 9.
But I think they're doing that just so that the main storyline gets a 2-year break, essentially.
But it's
So
not. It is, but it isn't.
It is.
You know what I
I
mean?
know what you
Like
mean, yeah.
that's all I'm
It's
saying.
kind of like you're getting a little appetizer in between your
Yeah.
courses
Yes.
each time. So
Definitely feel that.
you can get burned out, but like I said earlier, as long as it's good quality and there's good storyline behind it, then I don't think people will be upset. But once it starts to show in the storytelling or the writing, like okay, they're just pumping these out for a paycheck.
Yeah, which is
payday,
what
essentially.
Marvel's kind of
Marvel's
doing
right
in the,
yeah.
in the
I just think the novelty kind of wears off a little bit. You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
for these now, because like Marvel will appeal to the kids more in a sense because you have comic book heroes and the costumes and bright colors and all this. This they kind of handle with a different set of gloves because it is this very large, intricate world and storyline that a lot of people are invested in. Before like all the Marvel movies came out, not too many people were invested in Iron Man.
yeah.
Avengers and all that. Like people are invested in Star Wars since the 70s. So it's just a matter of if they're able to keep up with the quality content. If not, it's going to show because then people are going to be all pissed off eventually.
Yeah.
So they're just going to keep running with it till the wheels fall off, and I keep repeating that because it's just printing them money. Like domestically and internationally, it's just insane like how much money they're making off of these things.
Yeah, I think it's gonna do fine. For a while, I'm sure there's gonna be a burnout sooner or later, but
Yeah.
I don't think we're quite there yet. But it's gonna happen.
yeah, like I it's not so much like because clearly one a movie.
One movie.
One movie
One a year is nowhere near as bad, as offensive as what Marvel does.
Yeah.
But, like, I think anticipation plays a big role in stuff. And I just think maybe people would anticipate the mainline movies
Of
more
course, yeah. If they didn't have
if there
anything
wasn't
different.
always something in between. And, like, that's something, maybe that just speaks to
Let's-
me,
let's
but
put
that's
it-
something that I really...
Let's put it this way in terms of Marvel. I freaking love Spider-Man. I haven't seen the new Spider-Man yet because I'm just...
It's all right.
Well, I've heard it's alright, but I still want to see it because I loved Spider-Man growing up. But just because there's so many Marvel movies out, that I'm just like, I'll probably catch it when it's on Netflix or something like that now. It's like, I don't feel like I need to...
Fight me, O'Leary.
I don't feel like I need to, burn $10, $15 to go see it in the theater right now. So...
So other than that, I know you asked.
Yeah,
me.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I don't have a ton of
Fucking,
opinion. on that.
I'm really excited for this.
Don't you? Rick lately just like talks over me. It's really annoying.
Yeah, isn't it annoying?
Yeah, I don't talk over you. You've done that a few times. You asked me a question, and I was just gonna say to your question, I don't have much to say other than what I just commented about. So
Mike's saying, I'm feeling burnout just hearing about all the movie plans and calendar bullshit from all the franchises.
Just let it happen. I feel like I'm kind of like, just let it happen.
Let it
Just
happen.
throw at me. All right, cool. When the time comes, I'll be notified with the ads.
On the last thing about Obi-Wan, you think that for me, I think they could go deeper into Jedi lore. Like in the movies,
I feel like they would have to.
they would have to because they cover it in the movies, but it's kind of just barely scratching the surface.
Yeah.
They could really dive deep into Jedi lore. Hopefully they'll do that with the Obi-Wan stuff because before that you had the originals where most of your Jedi material is coming from Yoda training Luke. And then it's just referenced throughout the rest of the series. Like hopefully this one will kind of dig deeper into it and give like meaning and history and context to it versus the Force. And
Our producer is nodding.
yeah, producer's nodding, who's a diehard Star Wars fan as well. So hopefully that starts it from there. And that's a whole nother...
Zoe was making breathing noises, so maybe she agrees.
Yeah.
Daisy doesn't give a fuck.
She's on the dark side. She's all black.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. And
That's the
I do
only way Bryant. No, I'm just fucking kidding.
Anyways, that's Obi-Wan.
Is that
Alright, so this trailer is for a movie called How to Talk to Girls at Parties. Apparently this is a Neil... I want to say Gaiman? Is that his name?
John Cameron Mitchell?
No,
Who
but
the
based
director is?
based on
Yes. Based on the short story of the same name by Neil Gaiman.
there you go, yeah. So that's the trailer for this.
何者かになりたくて
Japanese.
それが何なのかわからなかったあの
Translate,
子
bro.
I mean, I could
Can you
recognize
translate,
some
bro?
of it.
くれながら
It's a little
突
much.
きしてくれる何かを待っていた
It's Shirley, right?
The name's Spinning
Oh,
Jenny.
wait.
Oh,
You can hear that.
Females awake, boys. So cool.
I claim our colony's right to
Apologies for the
unique
quality,
experience.
guys.
Now that is punk.
You're a local? Do more punk to me. I can come with you.
When do you have to be back?
48 hours. I like your body. Smells like butter. We engaged in incomplete sexual activity. Thought it was being cleaner, more colorful somehow. Still, it's a good world.
Is Elle Fanning now effectively a bigger star than her sister?
Ready to come
I'd
home,
argue yes.
I wish to stay.
Anybody?
I have one female friend.
with me?
She's in everything now, her sister's mom.
being original and born myself now.
We like to eat, we like to dance, we like to fall in love. Now we may have cocked this planet up royally, but at least we're alive.
Don't go.
Okay, that gives it more
I
context.
think that gives you a little more context
Yeah.
there.
Like, what do you think about what I said? Isn't it weird? Dakota Fanning is just kind of like, she's nowhere. Maybe it's by her
I
own
think
choice.
she's like more of an... Yeah, I guess so.
It could just be by her own
She's a
choice.
child
She's
actress.
definitely in
No,
the-
I know, but she was definitely in stuff for a while.
Wow.
Maybe it's by her own choice though, because now it seems like her sister is everywhere. Like that's the Fanning sister you hear more about. But
Mhm.
anyways, it was just me talking while we were watching that.
So yeah, I brought this up just because like I really like punk music. I've always been into punk music from London to like even ours, Sex Pistols, Ramones, and also Neil Gaiman, very what's a word for respected writer in the comic book world or graphic novels. I thought it sounded interesting, and I thought maybe it might like it.
It's a very classic storyline. Like,
But yeah, it
I still don't understand the title so far, even based off what I've seen.
it's obviously like a love story between adolescent love story.
Well, of course, but I mean, she's the alien, and I feel like
Maybe-
it focuses on her a lot.
maybe he met her at a party, and since he's
Well, yeah.
he's trying to talk to her, but she's an alien, so the same rules don't apply.
Yeah, I know. It's just the way the trailer positions it, though.
It's like a fish out of water story. Basically.
Positions,
Yeah,
it positions it positions it more around her. So it seems, I feel like, you know, when something's called How to Talk Girls at a Party, I feel like you get it more from the guy's perspective, when I feel like the trailer is very much about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it is about her coming to Earth.
No, I know. I'm just saying so far the
Yeah.
title, I don't.
Wasn't there just a movie that came out about an alien? Or no, it was about a boy that had to go back to his planet or he's gonna die, and the girl falls in love with him.
Oh no! It was you're talking about like he was born in space.
In space, yes. And he
Yeah,
had to go
I wanted
back.
to see that,
Yeah.
and I never got around to
That
it.
was on when I went to China. That was on the flight, and I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
Was that like a mainstream?
Yeah, it was a U.S. release, like one of those. You'd say it's in the same vein as like
The space between us.
The Space Between Us. That's exactly it. Yeah, but it's like in the same like
It's kind of in the same.
same vein as like
sense.
Divergent and all those other movies. Those
Yeah.
like kind of teen movies.
Gotcha.
I'm just kind of interested in this movie. I don't know. I just thought I'd share it. It's shit I like, and I haven't really like usually with stories like lately with like adolescent stories or like more coming of age stories. I kind of been like with. I haven't really been too good. I guess with the exception of Edge of 17. That
No,
you
that's
guys
good.
liked.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so.
Did you watch
I
it?
thought you watched it.
No.
I watched
You
it.
watched it? Okay.
Mike loved it, and then
Yeah.
Brian. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, like, I'm definitely intrigued. I'm being hypercritical. I'm just saying I don't get how the title fits in there, but that, that's good. The trailer still isn't really giving you enough, which I kind of like, because then it makes you want to see the movie. We always talk about trailers giving away too much.
Yeah.
So
Definitely keeps your expectation
there's
up.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it because it's a good era for punk music. All right, this movie is from Amazon Studios, and it's from Richard Linklater, and it has Steve Carell, Bryan Cranston, and Lawrence Fishburne.
Fishburne.
Yeah. So.
Is it going to be in theaters, or is it strictly Amazon? Or we don't know.
will
Maybe
be
we'll
in
find out.
theaters, but we'll find out.
Lawrence Fishburger.
Fishburger.
You know what amazes me about you?
Well, could be anything. I'm a pretty amazing guy.
You turn the keys to your bar over to the guy who's asleep on your pool table, and then you jump in your car and you drive me to hell and gone, and you don't even know where we're going.
Ask the question, am I willing to surrender to God? What the hell happened to Mule or the Mauler? First class drinker, gambler. I see we have some visitors amongst us here today. We were in the service together with your pastor. I haven't seen these men in decades. They represent a dark period in my life. That went down awfully quick. Drinking for two now that you got old and boring.
Because of my son, I came here, found you guys. A year ago, we joined the Corps, and then 2 days ago, they told me that he'd been killed. He's gonna be buried in Arlington, and I was wondering if you guys could come with me.
Is this like the next big thing he's done since
He sent him off to
After
a
Midnight? Is that what it
godforsaken
was called?
desert. Why?
Linklater?
I'm taking Larry home.
You mean
With all
Boyhood?
due respect, sir, he deserves to lie at Arlington.
You're gonna take Don back and try to make it fun.
You're cutting
No,
off your
I mean,
nose to spite
isn't-
your face.
isn't he a
Did you
part
look
of
at these
After Midnight?
faces?
Wasn't
They've
that him
already
too?
been
Yeah.
spited.
Boyhood is what he did after that.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to a funeral. We are going to a funeral. Just looks like it's
Oh my
gonna
god,
take
they're
a little
heisting a
longer to
bike.
get. Drop the love to the roof of your car? We could do that.
The thing that made Larry different from the rest of us, he had a happy childhood.
He said that?
Yes, sir.
If there's 1 minute that's not too terrible, I'd like to try to enjoy it. His Holiness can hardly walk, let alone handle a big rig with a hydraulic lift. This is a rental with an automatic transmission. You guys ready for an adventure? Let's go.
Mustache.
What do you smell? Urine. I love it. It's like the official scent of the city. Things are coming in and out of your mouth. You worry too much. That's why your hair went so gray. Could you resist a man in this uniform?
I don't think I could.
You're there for your brothers. And that's all that really matters.
Get out of the way. Okay, you want to play? Let's play. Hey, move! Hey, you trying to get me killed? I will bury your ass. Mueller has arrived.
I was thinking of before midnight. I kept saying after midnight.
After. Before midnight.
Yeah, that was 20. Yeah.
So yeah.
That's like a midlife crisis coming of age movie.
I mean, let's play some midlife crisis movie, yeah. Or, yeah. I mean, it has actors that I know I like and Bryce likes, so I thought I'd show that to you, Bryce, because I don't know if you've seen it before.
No, I haven't. Was that your first time watching it? too?
Yeah.
What'd
Yeah.
you think?
I'm really interested. Well, I like Richard Linklater a lot, so.
Yeah, that's why.
It's another reason why I picked this movie, or picked this trailer out, was because I was definitely interested in it. I think it has a lot of interesting things in it that I want to see play out. The fact that they took their friend's body,
It was his son's body.
their son's body, yeah.
Or Steve Carell's son. So, pulls at your heartstrings. And
Yeah,
it's
there's
a-
definitely
there's a
probably
comedic
could be
aspect to it.
what do we call it? Depressed fest movie.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it looks like there's a lot of comedy.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be hard depressed fest like some of the ones
Yeah,
that you
like
picked
some of the ones that
before.
I took you to for sure. But
What's the movie called again? Sorry, I'm trying to look something
Last
up.
flag
on it.
flying.
yeah, Price on your phone.
I'm doing research, so we've
Okay.
talked about this before. Rick, you're being an asshole.
All right, I'll be an asshole. So I'm interested in it. I don't know if you guys are.
No, it definitely looks interesting.
It looks like something I would drag my parents to, because they'd probably enjoy it as well. But like, I would enjoy it too. But
When's
it's
the last
more-
time your parents have been to the movies?
I'm gonna try to drag him to that Jackie Chan movie that's coming out.
Oh, are you?
The Foreigner.
Yeah, The Foreigner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last time my mom was at a movie was in 2012 or 11. I took her to see. We were looking for apartments for my sister in Colorado, in Denver, and we had time to kill, so we went to the movies, and it was between Captain America or The Zookeeper. I don't think my mom was gonna understand Captain America, so we ended up seeing The Zookeeper.
It looks like this comes out November 3rd, by the way.
That's pretty soon.
And is that in theaters or on?
That's what I was researching when you were like, Bryce, you're on your phone. But that's what I was looking.
It said Lionsgate, so I assume movie.
It's probably
Yeah,
one of
it's
theaters
probably
for a
just
short run.
studios. Yeah, apparently too.
Yeah.
Hold on, I saw this when I was clicking here. It's based on a book, and it's a sequel. It's a sequel to a 1973 movie called The Last Detail.
I hear that because it's talking probably referencing the military aspect to it, and then the last detail would be like your last mission, and then the last flag flying probably references the sun passing away and the flag that you get when someone in service passes and stuff.
Clearly, it's something that could stand on its own, though, because I mean, The Last Detail came out in '73.
Yeah.
This is based on a book that came out in 2005 of the same name. So, yeah, it looks interesting. I'm sure Rick will drag me to see it at some point.
Like original IP from a book as opposed to remaking something.
I figure he'll have the short theater run, and then he'll eventually.
It looks like one of those movies that's probably gonna win some Oscars. Just because.
Well, I mean, it's Amazon Studios, so it's. I mean, their biggest hit, their biggest winner so far is Manchester by the Sea and Transparent for TV.
Okay.
So.
Hi, Electric Maestro. Thanks for tuning in.
So yeah, I'm actually excited to see that one. Next one, literally
right before.
Literally right before. Aaron. I thought Bryce and you, Brian, might like this.
What about you?
Oh yeah, I like it. I actually kind of already watched it.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I think we should get married.
Are you what are you
I
talking
want to do the now. I want to be in the now. And in the now, I want to marry you.
Justin Longer forever.
Are you serious?
I like
I think we should break up.
What?
I don't know what I'm talking about. Forget it.
Oh yeah.
I don't want you to hate me.
I don't hate you.
Well, then come to my wedding.
Yeah, I'd like to be there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This is real easy. Don't go. Just don't go.
You guys were inseparable. Do you remember that?
Well, that's a long time ago. A year and a half. You have to jog my memories.
We're
having
this dinner party tonight. Maybe you want to come?
Adam and Allison used to go out.
Yes, it was.
Literally
it's John.
right before Aaron.
Yeah.
That's Harold, right?
I think it's so cool.
Fun right
that you
answer.
came. It's really big of you. I think we're both big.
I've actually.
Oh yeah.
Really? No. Oh. So you don't? Oh.
Adam,
It's so funny running into you.
I work here for 7 years. I just figured I would invite
Literally
you or I'd never
fantastic
see
as
you
opposed to
again.
figuratively
I'm
fantastic.
coming, okay? Coming to the wedding.
Good.
Fun assurance.
Yeah, it's been a while. Wait, what are you doing? He's actually a really cool guy.
Sorry.
My girlfriend's getting married.
Your girlfriend getting married? That's messed up.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, that's why they said literally. Got it. That looks cool.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. That looks very cool. Is there a release date on that somewhere? I'll just look it up on here. I'm gonna go on my phone now, people, and look up a release date.
September 29th.
Then we don't have to.
And on demand. In theaters and on demand.
How
September
to feeling about that? Sometimes I feel like certain movies have a certain feel where you could tell, like, that's probably gonna be like a VOD one too. You know? That looks cool.
That's cool.
So much stuff to say.
Oh wow,
that looks cool.
That looks cool. I just thought it might be interesting.
No,
to see
yeah,
the
I thought it
actors
was
in
cool.
it.
Yeah. Thank you, Rick. Rick put together most of the show, so.
So a while back, Amazon bought Whole Foods. I think it was like what, 15 billion or something like that. Yeah. So speculations were about thinking how they're going to go about it, you know, especially with Amazon Fresh being a thing delivered. Now they have more range to get to a lot more people.
I think it's also fascinating too because I'm forgetting the name of it, but they also have that store in Seattle that they've been like beta testing, so to speak, that's completely self-sufficient.
That's when you just walk in and grab what you want. They charge you your account.
Yeah, there's nobody that works there.
Yeah.
It was supposed to actually open, but they had some issues, so they still haven't opened it. But I haven't. That's the last time I looked anything up, and that was like 6 months ago. So don't quote me on these things now.
So yeah, some of the details have come out now about it. That if you're an Amazon Prime member now, well, first of all the prices at Whole Foods now are going to go down.
They're dropping it.
They're dropping
to market value, basically.
Yeah, but everything's pretty much going to stay the same as far as their brands, their in-house brands. Everything's pretty much the same. They're just dropping prices. Another thing is that if you're an Amazon Prime member, it's basically like your Ralph's Rewards card now.
Yeah.
So you're going to get discounts being a Prime member.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This is going to be a standard discount, or is it going to be like you accumulate points and then you get like a...
I'm not aware of that.
The way the article just presents it, like what Rick said, the same way how any other grocery
pretty much.
Gotcha.
That's going to be their version of it.
Okay.
I could see them maybe the discounts being a little bit deeper. It wasn't affecting me either way. I could see the discounts being a little bit deeper because Amazon Prime is something you pay for. While the Ralph's and other stuff is free cards.
Yeah,
so.
you just sign up and they get your phone number and all that stuff. So basically, yeah, because I have a coworker that used to work at Whole Foods. Before they got acquired, they kind of changed their infrastructure a lot, and they're just losing money like crazy. So Amazon, basically saved the sinking ship, and now they're just
kind of what they're doing.
Trying to make it profitable by dropping everything to market value. From what I've read, like even things from bread and bananas and apples are going to be appropriately priced as opposed to the inflated prices that it was when Whole Foods was operating on its own, and then this is just trying to get back in the black as opposed to being in the red and stuff. So it's bound to happen. Like Whole Foods to me kind of grew too soon, too fast. Like they're just for a while they're everywhere, and then now it's kind of.
Yeah, I don't feel that way.
I don't feel that way either. I think definitely it changed because you and I, when we were going to school in San Diego, that Whole Foods that was down the street from our place was the first time we ever saw a Whole Foods. And they've definitely expanded, but I definitely don't think it like turned into like a Pinkberry sort of thing where
not
it's just
necessarily by volume wise, but like our first exposure to Whole Food was like the one that we went to in San Diego, which is the size of a Trader Joe's, I would say, right? Like,
no, it's bigger.
It's bigger than Trader Joe's? Okay.
By far.
But it's
not. And it
like,
depends on the Trader Joe's. Like that's actually a pretty. I like that size.
Yeah, it's like a medium size. I'm talking about like if you see like the newer ones that are going up right before, or not right before, but they got all hyped up because they had those medium to like large size ones, like the one in San Diego, and then a few here and there. But then
I mean, the one in San Diego is basically the size of a normal grocery store.
Grocery store, yeah. But then you're talking about what happened. What I saw too was like they started building the enormous ones. Like there's the one out here in Tustin that's huge. It's big, it's like the size of 2 grocery stores. And then there's ones like because my sister's in Colorado, they had 2 or 3 of those ginormous ones just out there, and it's like. They're the size of Costco, and like
that's pretty big.
As a Whole Foods and stuff, and it's like
think about how big the one like you said down the street. That
one's the size of a Costco almost.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they kind of blew up too fast because they accumulated too much real estate, and it's just like you got to pay the rent. But
I think they did a good job of like because I mean even the one that is close to here has changed and evolved a lot, and they've done little things like I mean now there's restaurants inside of them.
Okay.
Like there's a Mendocino Farms inside the Whole Foods that's here now. Some of them have like like a bar or beer tasting room or whatever.
Yeah.
So they've done.
They're evolving to.
They've done a lot of stuff. I think a good quote that I just pulled out of this article right here from Jeff Wilke, however you say his name, CEO of Amazon Worldwide Consumer, kind of goes with kind of what you were saying about, well, what we're all saying about lowering the prices. And I think this answers the question, because I had this question in my head. I'm like, well, if they're going to do that, I hope that doesn't mean that they're going to start cutting corners. But this says, we're determined to make healthy and organic food affordable for everyone. Everybody should be able to eat Whole Foods Market quality. We will lower prices without compromising Whole Foods Market's long-held commitment to the highest standards.
So they could be the bigger Trader Joe's, essentially.
They could take over Trader Joe's.
Well, one thing that they, I mean, not the problem, but the thing with Trader Joe's is, like, I like Trader Joe's, but people who are all heavy on organic stuff, Trader Joe's doesn't have a ton of organic stuff.
Mm.
Whole Foods, like, pretty much everything is organic. While they have the option of non-organic stuff, that's one thing where Trader Joe's lacks. Trader Joe's also is super affordable. I don't know if they're still going to go with this plan. Now, I think so far there's only a couple stores open, but to combat that market a little bit, I think there's one open, like, what is it? Is it Silver Lake? Producer? The Whole Foods 365 store? Yeah, I think it's in Silver Lake.
Oh, is that the mini one or something?
It's basically their answer to Trader Joe's, because 365 is their brand of stuff.
They're opening one in Santa Monica too.
And so I don't know if they might continue. So that's more of their answer to Trader Joe's, where they're basically gonna sell. It's like Ralph sells Kroger.
Yeah.
And Whole Foods 365.
Yeah, it's a brand like Costco is Kirkland.
So that makes them cheaper. But I wonder if they abandon that ship a little bit, if they're gonna try to make Whole Foods as a whole overall more affordable. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe they don't need to do something like that. Maybe that just confuses the marketplace.
Apparently from the podcast that I was also listening to, because I read some of this, but I've mostly heard it from Daily Tech News, is that there's also going to be lockers and point of pickups.
Oh, for like
Amazon. For
that's
Amazon.
Cool.
Like,
that's huge.
Pickup on demand.
I've seen, like, I've thought about, because I don't have Amazon Prime, and then I worry about stuff getting stolen from the front door and stuff.
Where's your Chromecast get put in the mailbox?
It was in the mailbox. It was fit in the mailbox. Yeah. But when I order stuff on Amazon, I always worry about, okay, like, I live in a nice neighborhood, but still, people are always stealing packages from the front door. It's just so easy now these days. People are just doing it left and right. But I've thought about getting stuff shipped to an Amazon locker.
Yeah.
But every time I look at the locations for Amazon lockers, I'm like,
they're not in good places.
They're not nice, like,
they're at
7-Elevens. Like,
right.
If I get off of work at 6 and I don't necessarily want to cruise to go get something to eat and then go cruise to 7-Eleven at 9 o'clock at night to go pick up my package in the middle of the night. Granted, it's at a storefront and stuff, but, like, you're not going to run into the greatest people at 7-Eleven and anytime after 9 p.m. and stuff.
Nope.
Or hanging out in front of a
I've used the lockers before.
I mean, you have one right down the street from you.
The only plus side is, like, I've seen college campuses have it, which is awesome for college kids, but for, like, their regular consumer who's not a college student, yeah, I don't think they want to go to 7-Eleven and go pick up their package. It could be something expensive or something like that.
Another thing that was mentioned, not on the same podcast about this, was that apparently they're going to start putting lockers into apartments, certain apartment complexes too.
That's smart.
So I guess kind of like
there's third-party companies that do that now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're gonna be putting them in apartments. I don't know, like, if they're gonna have a deal with, like, certain apartment companies, but they did mention that they're gonna do that.
Hi, Prosty Polizek. Sorry if I butchered your name.
Is that Brazzers?
Is that you say? I always say Brazers.
I always said Brazzers. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Maybe it should be like maybe it should be Brazzers, because like a bra. Porn. I don't know. How's it going? I don't know. Is there porn on somewhere and I'm missing it? Because lead me in the right direction. Yeah.
Is this a casting caption?
So yeah, I definitely wanted to bring up the Amazon thing just because, like, that's so awesome.
Not to pivot too much, but what do you see Amazon doing? Because, like, if you look at how the company's evolved, it went from, like, a website where you would buy books from into now, like, I see it trying to be like Alibaba in, like, China and Asia, where they just sell stuff. Like, you go on Alibaba on Asia, you just buy random things, like whatever you need on that site, kind of how, like, Amazon is. But now Amazon's like evolved to, you know, from goods to content to media. Now they're getting in the grocery store game.
Yeah, they're everywhere now.
They're going to end up being like that company in Wall-E that takes over.
They're taking over the world.
Over everything, and that's what it's just interesting to me. Like, how far are they going to go? How far are they going to go? Like, what other departments are going to, or not departments, but other industries are going to start trickling into? Because like they also announced on Amazon, you can, you know, people can buy and sell stuff on Amazon like eBay.
Right.
But you have an Amazon storefront, you have to get certified, all that, blah, blah, blah. A big issue that they had was people were scamming people. And what happens with Amazon, if you don't get your item, Amazon refunds you right away, like within 24 hours. And then they try to square up with the seller, but sometimes the sellers bounce and they got to track them down and go through the legal process. An issue that they had was people were selling fake Nikes on Amazon. And then that got busted, and now Amazon and Nike are in agreement that Amazon's going to start selling Nikes on there. So basically, anyone who tries to sell Nikes on there is getting kicked off the website because Nike is going to be officially distributed through Amazon, and that's huge now because
I think that's good.
That's good. It cleans up the marketplace in a sense. Like people won't be selling fakes. No one's going to get ripped off. Amazon's probably going to cut back on getting scammed from, you know, shady sellers and all that, but it's just crazy to think like everyone's gonna get in bed with this huge company eventually, one way or another, if you're gonna buy stuff.
Yeah, are you looking at this?
Yeah, I think we're still okay, but I don't know. Do you guys find like I'm finding more and more? I like that Amazon offers up what they offer up because I'm finding more and more less and less reason to actually. That. But I mean like. Sometimes I'm just like, why do I even want to shop at a brick and mortar store anymore? Do you guys ever feel that way? I mean, I know you.
We're upstairs.
Yeah. We're doing good. The dogs are upset.
It's
okay, puppies. You guys are.
I know you definitely feel that way a little bit. I mean, sometimes it's like even we almost prefer shopping online for clothes more than going in person. Because it's like, well, sometimes the thing I like about it is you could actually more focus on what exactly you're looking for online, or you could actually, instead of going to a store and hoping they have something, you could go to the brand's website and all the other stuff. And I'm just finding less, like, I mean, I think Best Buy is almost a completely pointless store now.
I don't know how Best Buy is. I thought they were going to start shutting those down like a year or two ago. I remember them saying like, oh, X amount of locations are supposed to shut down. And I remember noting it because there are two by my house and they're both still around, which I'm surprised. I thought they were supposed to be out of business pretty soon. But going on your thing with like shopping, yeah, sometimes I'll just go to a store and just try something on, and then so I have a reference to my size, and then just go on the actual website of the brand that I'm buying stuff for, and just like, okay, just buy it all there.
Well, now there's companies too, and I want to say Amazon's one of them. I know Jack Threads definitely is one of them, where they actually will send you the clothes, let you try them on.
Oh, and just return.
Is Amazon the other? I feel like Amazon was doing that too.
But those are like subscription.
Those are like
subscription sites where they.
No, they're not. Threads. No, Jack Threads you actually pick out what you want, and they'll ship it to you.
Producer, wasn't Amazon also doing that too? Who was the other site that was actually letting you try on the clothes?
Amazon's going to start.
Amazon's going to start doing that. So there's that too. But yeah, like I don't. It's so funny. I almost just don't care for shopping in person anymore. It's nice to get something instantaneously, I guess. But Amazon stuff comes so quick now. Like, you know, if you have Prime, you can get stuff the next day, or there's that stuff. Or like, I know that there's certain cities that they're testing out where you can, you could order something and pick it up in 2 hours at a designated location. They're starting to do that in certain test cities. I think mostly so far on the West Coast. I don't remember, but yeah, it's pretty fascinating what's happening with Amazon.
It's interesting because as a society, no one wants to interact with anyone anymore or do like regular tasks. We rather just have. We want to have our clothing or goods instantaneous. We won't even go out to a restaurant. Instead, we use Postmates or Amazon Fresh to order from a
Postmates is I don't care for Postmates. They take forever.
Yeah.
Oh hi dog. They take forever.
Oh hi doggy.
They take forever, and I just think the delivery fees. I don't know.
I don't know because
it ranges from like $4.99 to like higher. I think
it depends on like peak times and stuff.
You want to know who wins? You want to know who wins that battle? No, Amazon. Amazon Prime now. They deliver their stuff, huh?
I've never used Prime.
Yeah, like Prime Now, they win.
But yeah, it's just interesting that no one wants to go out and do stuff. We want the instant gratification, whether it's buying stuff.
See, I don't know if I feel it so much with food. I like the convenience of that, but I mean, I'm still fine with going out to get food. You know what I mean? Like, especially eating in person. Like, I'm good with that. I think I would prefer, if the plan is to eat in, I think I'd prefer to have it delivered than having to go, and pick it up.
Phone order it, pick it up, come back home, eat, and all that stuff. It actually ends up taking more time than actually going to a restaurant.
Any of the other ones, like DoorDash or...
I've used DoorDash.
My boss has used DoorDash and
I still think, like...
I've only used Uber Eats.
Yeah, I've used DoorDash. I still think they just kind of take too long. I don't know. Prime Now is what I've been the most happy with. They pretty much guarantee that you'll have your stuff within an hour.
That's not in my area.
You should look again.
I have to check all the time. I literally checked last week.
I'm gonna totally check now and it'll be in your area, which is gonna be funny.
Probably now with them buying Whole Foods. I mean, hopefully now I can have it delivered to my house rather than.
It's also interesting because if you look at how the trend's going when it comes to these smaller markets and getting things quickly, it's like everyone's going towards the.
That's the air conditioner.
I know, that's the AC. But you know how to us it was very foreign when you watch a show or movie based in New York and everyone's ordering takeout and it's always being delivered.
Yeah.
Or
something that isn't just pizza.
Exactly. So it's like
Chinese.
We're going towards that metropolitan city lifestyle, even though people live out in the suburbs.
It's getting there.
It's getting to that point. Even so, where
it'll never be like that everywhere.
Well, I don't think it'll be like that everywhere, but it's starting to because
the outskirts of the most popular areas.
Yeah, like suburbs essentially. Like the outskirts of major cities are starting to have the conveniences of say a huge city, where people don't grocery shop for 2 weeks at a time anymore. Everyone's buying stuff for a couple days and then just going back and delivered.
Yeah, the dogs are taking over. So, with that said, everybody, Brian, we'd like to thank you for being on the show. Of course, you're always... And, the mouse isn't working. But anyways, with that said, catch us on Twitter at some shit.
All the links are above us.
It's all above us. This is Brian. This is Rick. I'm Bryce.
Until next time.
That was some shit we like.